Hello everyone, a very good evening to all of you. Welcome to this one-shot classes for grade 10th. Today we are basically dealing with our 7th chapter, right? We are already covered the first six chapter which were major, like basically major part of your term 1 examination will be from that 6 chapters and lesser portion will be from coordinate geometry and probability. Probability is left, right? So we are dealing with our 7th chapter, that is coordinate geometry. So those who are present over here, just quickly share this link with your friends so that they can also join. This is a very small chapter, right? You are basically dealing with only 3 topics, and 3 topics are majorly just 3 formulas, right? Dealing with those 3 formulas and the chapter will be over. That's it. This is a very small chapter. So majorly if you just see this complete session, definitely you will be able to solve any question related to coordinate geometry. Okay. So I'll begin with the session. Before that, let me tell you, those who are first time over here, that what practically exactly is. Practically is an e-learning platform where you get courses related to mathematics and sciences, right? You get courses for class 6th till grade 12th, right? So whomsoever you know from grade 6th till grade 12th, do share this channel with those, right? So whomsoever you know from your society or your school, just share this with your friends. Okay, here you get 3D model videos so that you have a better conceptual clarity. Okay, but for that you need to get enrolled with us, and for that you need to download our application from Play Store, right? There you can see all the courses we are providing over here at this platform. Okay, some are free courses, some are paid courses. You can check in the list, right? And you can get enrolled with us in as many courses as you like. Okay, let's just quickly start with our chapter without much delay. Here are the topics which we are gonna deal in this chapter. Basically, these are just the 3 formulas and the chapter is over. That's it. This is quite small chapter. First formula will be based on distance formula. We will be calculating distance between 2 points, right? And next is your section formula. Basically, if you have a line segment and you have its ratio, like some point dividing it in the ratio, then a formula related to that. Okay, basically we will be dealing all this. And area of triangle, you already know like some formulas to calculate area of triangle, I know, but there will be one more formula introduced in this particular chapter so as to calculate the area. Okay, so here's the first topic, that is distance formula. Before that, let us just recall all the things regarding the coordinate geometry we need from grade 9th. You have already done coordinate geometry in grade 9th. There you understood that we have an mutually perpendicular axes, right? They are known as coordinate axes. These are mutually perpendicular axes known as coordinate axes, and this horizontal line is known as x-axis and this vertical line is known as y-axis. In junior classes you might say this as sleeping line or standing line, right? So just this sleeping line kind of thing is x-axis and the standing line over here is y-axis. Okay, next is distance of a point from y-axis. Suppose you have a pointer over here, right? This is your point. Its distance from y-axis is this much. This is given by its x coordinate, that is also known as abscissa, right? And the distance of the point from x-axis is this much distance, and this is given by y coordinate because this much length is same as this length. That's why distance of a point from x-axis is its y coordinate, that is also known as ordinate, and distance of a point from y-axis is x coordinate. This you all know from your previous grade. It was just added to recall everything over here. Now let's just come to the distance formula we have in this particular grade, right? So distance formula. So distance formula is basically to calculate distance, as the name suggests. Okay, distance of what? If you have 2 points given in the coordinate plane. Basically in the coordinate plane you write, just to write a point, you mention an ordered pair with first element having first element as the x coordinate and the second element as y coordinate, right? So if you have 2 points P and Q, where P is mentioned as x1 comma y1 and Q is mentioned as x2 comma y2, right? P is x1 comma y1, this point is P, and Q is mentioned as x2 comma y2, right? So distance between these points can be measured using this formula. This PQ, this is the measurement, basically the line segment. How to calculate the distance between 2 points, line segment formed by P and Q. So to calculate the distance, what you need to do is calculate the difference between the x coordinate of both the points. Difference between the x coordinate will be x1 minus x2 or x2 minus x1, right? We basically need the difference, so you can do anyway, right? What you need to do is you need to square it, because either you do is x1 minus x2 or you do is x2 minus x1. Taking the square will be the same value in each case, right? So x1 minus x2 square plus difference of y1 and y2 and square of it. So y1 minus y2 square. So difference of x2 and x1 and difference of y2 and y1 is what you need to calculate, and put it over here, square and add and take the under root. Basically what you have done is you have applied the Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras theorem in this particular triangle. How? Let's just see. This point is basically x2 comma y2 and this point over here is x1 comma y1, right? So this complete length, this much complete length here is y2 and this complete length here is y1. So this much length will definitely be y2 minus y1. Similarly, this length will be here, this much length would be x2 minus x1, as we have calculated here for y2 minus y1. So just apply the Pythagoras theorem so as to calculate this hypotenuse. In this way you will get this formula. You can directly remember this formula for your examination. In examination you need not to derive the formula, right? You need not to derive the formula, just directly remember this formula. It's quite easier to remember. X1 minus x2 square of it plus y1 minus y2 square, taking under root of the complete value, right? And this value must be positive because calculating the length, so length must be positive. Next, basically how it is like remembered as difference between both the abscissae plus difference between ordinates and square of it and taking the sum, right? So basically if one of the points out of this P, other point is P, that is expressed as x comma y. So what is the square? This is basically derived from this formula only. How it is derived? Origin is basically 0 comma 0, right? So x minus 0 is the first formula you need to remember in this particular chapter. Like this, you just need to remember 3 formulas and your chapter will be over. That's it. So basically we will be dealing more like solving more and more questions based on this, right? Okay, so we are done with our first formula, and there are some pointers linked to this formula, like what type of questions you might get, right? So the first pointer is there might be given, like you will be given with some points which are called, which are maybe named as the vertices of some polygon, and you need to check that what exactly that polygon is, whether rectangle, parallelogram, rhombus. So how you will check that whether it is parallelogram or rectangle or rhombus or what exactly it is? Let's just recall all that pointers. So the first is, if you need to prove that the given 4 points, like suppose you are given the 4 points here, like I am just drawing a figure over here. You are given with x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3, x4, y4, right? I have drawn this in general as a quadrilateral. We will be dealing with all the cases in this one only, okay? If you are given with these 4 points, right, and you are supposed to check whether it is a C to D, then to D, and then from D to A. Calculate all the 4 distances. If all the 4 sides are of equal length, right, a square has all its sides as equal, right? So if all the sides are equal, then what you need to check next is check for diagonal. If diagonals are also equal, right, then prove that 4 sides are equal as well as prove that diagonals are equal. Check for diagonal. Diagonal will be AC and this BD, both are diagonals, right? So calculate AC and calculate this distance BD. What you need to exactly do is you need to calculate 6 distances basically. 6 distances you need to calculate. First one is AB, then BC, then CD, then DA, then AC, which is your first diagonal. Next is BD, which is your second diagonal. If diagonals have same length and all the sides have same length, that means it is a square, okay? This you have to prove, like basically this time you are having MCQ questions, right? So this you need to check while just marking, like there you might get options like these are the 4 vertices, check whether it is a square, parallelogram, or whatever it is. To mark that it is a square, you need to check all this in your rough sheets, okay? Next is if you need to prove that the given 4 vertices are of a rhombus, then what you need to do is just check whether all the sides are of same length or not. Just calculate AB, BC, CD and DA. If all the sides have same length, that means it is a rhombus, okay? Next is for rectangle. For rectangle, what you will do, you will prove that opposite sides are equal. In a rectangle, we have opposite sides equal, right? So first thing you need to do is prove that opposite sides are equal. That means you need to prove that AB is equals to CD, and you also need to prove that CB is equals to AD, right? As well as you need to prove that diagonals are equal. Only then you can say that it is a rectangle. So, and you also need to prove that AC is equals to BD, right? In the first one, you were supposed to prove all the sides AB equals to BC equals to CD equals to DA, as well as AC is equals to BD. In this second one, AB is equals to BC is equals to CD equals to DA. This is sufficient, right? So to prove square, this condition, so to prove rhombus, all the 4 sides equal. To prove rectangle, these 3 conditions you need to check. And next, to prove for a parallelogram, what you need to do is prove that opposite sides are equal. That is sufficient, right? So what you need to do is AB is equals to CD and CB is equals to AD. These are the opposite sides, AB and CD. These are opposite sides, so they must be equal, and AD must be equals to BC, right? Any confusion till now in these 4 pointers? Any confusion? Okay, if you have any doubt, so you can let me know in the chat section. Next is if you need to prove that it is a parallelogram but it is not a rectangle. So for that you can check rectangle and parallelogram have AB equals to CD and CB equals to AD. These things are in common. So as to prove that it is a parallelogram but not a rectangle, what you need to prove is it satisfies AB equals to CD and CB equals to AD, because for after proving this condition only, you can say that it is a parallelogram. But if it must not be a rectangle, that means diagonals, these are basically the diagonals. If diagonals are equal, then it will be called as rectangle. So what condition must be implemented? Diagonals must not be equal, right? So this is the condition to prove, to say that we have a quadrilateral which is a parallelogram but not a rectangle. Next is we have a rhombus but not a square. For that, what you need to do is, rhombus we need, but we don't need a square. For you can see that rhombus as well as square has all its sides equal. That means to prove rhombus, you need to prove AB equals to CD equals to CD equals to DA equals to BC, right? All these four sides are equal. But so as to prove that it is not a square, this condition must not be satisfied, that diagonals are equal, because if diagonals are equal, definitely it will be a square, right? So that means it must satisfy diagonals are not equal. Okay. Next, last point is, if you have 3 points which are said to be collinear, or you need to prove that they are collinear, what you will do is you will measure the distance between all the 3 points. Like you have point A, B and C. Calculate the distance between first two. Next, calculate the distance between next two. Next, calculate the distance between first and third, right? 3 times apply the distance formula, right? You will get 3 distances. Then what you need to check is, one distance must be sum of the other 2 distances. Only then you can say that the 3 points are collinear. How I am saying this? If you have a line like this, right? So you have A, B and C. Only when this distance is sum of these 2 distances, then you can say it is collinear. Otherwise there is no other alternative, right? So in that case you need to say check this only. Okay, so this is a very important sheet. I have made this on the only one slide so that you can remember this, right? Just if you are just viewing this lecture, just take a screenshot or you can just write this down so as to solve particular questions related to distance formula. Okay. Next is a question based on distance formula. What you need to do is calculate the distance between the points. First pair is given as points are 6, 7 and 2, 3. You have points as 6, 7 and 2, 3. Just quickly calculate the distance between these 2 points. We need distance as AB, right? So what will this exactly be? This is x1 comma y1 and this is x2 comma y2, right? So what you need to do is x2 minus x1 square of it plus y2 minus y1 square of it. This is what you need. This is equals to under root of 2 minus 6 square of it plus of 3 minus 7 square of it. So this is minus 4 square, that is 16. This is minus 4 square, that is again 16 under root of this. That is 32 under root of this, which is 4 under root 2 units. So this is the length which is required, or basically the distance which is required, and distance is always positive. That's why you have taken the positive sign all over, right? Next is you need to calculate the distance between these P and Q. Easier to calculate because here you are just having variables. So whatever you get as your answer in variable form as in terms of A and B, just leave it that. Okay. So PQ, this is what you require. This is under root of this is x2, y2, x1, y1. So x1 minus x2, A plus B minus of A minus B, square of it, right, plus A minus B minus of minus A minus B, square of this complete, right? That will be equals to taking under root a plus b minus a, right? A plus b minus a plus b, square of it, plus a minus b plus a plus b, square of this. This is equals to, cancel this a, 2b square, plus cancel this b, you have 2a square of it. So that is 4b square plus 4a square, taking the under root. That means 2 under root a square plus b square units. This is the answer. That's it. Right? So you need not to get worry when you just see such type of questions. Most of the students worry like what exactly it is. Just deal with it as you are dealing with the first one. Deal in the similar way. What you need to do is, you have just one formula, that is distance formula. Just go with it. Apply the formula, whatever x1, x2, y1, y2 you have. Just apply the formula. Definitely you will get the answer. But this time, as you are having MCQ questions, so you need to simplify this as you are given with the options, right? This is the most simplified form. You can't simplify it further, right? Most probably the answer would be like this, or they might have left it like this only. Okay, you need to simplify it on the basis of the given options in your examination. But what you need to do is go with the same procedure as you are dealing with the first one. Okay. Okay, here's the next question for you. Based on distance formula, I already told you in this particular chapter we are having just 3 formulas. So based on each formula we will be having more questions this time, right? So next question over here is, if the point x comma y is equidistant from the points a plus b comma b minus a and a minus b comma a plus b, then you need to check which of the following condition is true. Whether bx equals to ay, or ax equals to by, or ab equals to xy, or a by b equals to yx. You need to check. Okay, if a point is given to be equidistant from 2 points, that means, what does that mean? Can anyone let me know? You are given with a point that is x comma y, right? And it is said that it is equidistant from these 2 points. Let me name this as a and b, and this point as capital X, right? So it is given that the point capital X is equidistant from 2 points that are a and b. So that means, what does that mean? Anyone who can let me know in the chat section. 2 points are equidistant from a given particular point. That means that distance from point A, distance of point X from the point A, as well as distance XP, it will be same. If I show this pictorially, if you have your X point over here, which is small x comma small y, and you have your point A and B over here, so this distance, at this distance, this will be equal. Basically these two are equal, and your point A over here is a plus b comma b minus a, and this b pointer is a minus b comma a plus b. Now as you are given with this distance xa is equals to xb, so what you can do in this particular question, if 2 distances are equal, just write the algebraic form of it and just solve it. But for that you need to calculate the distance, and to calculate the distance we already have a distance formula. That's it. So you have xa is equals to xb, right? So I'll just do it, what I'll do is I'll take square, so that under root sign is removed, right? Is equals to xb square of this complete length. That means x minus a plus b square of it plus of y minus b minus a square of it is equals to, this is xa square, what I have written just now is xa square. Now write the distance of write xb square using the distance formula. So we have x minus a minus b square of this plus of y minus a plus b square this. That's it. Now just open up the apply the properties and open up the brackets and just try to simplify it, because options given are these are much simplified form of this, right? So just open up the brackets. There might be some terms which might be cancelled, right? So let's just do. So you have, I'll just change the pen so that it isn't mixed with the figure. Okay, so x square plus of a plus b whole square of it minus 2x a plus b. This is the first bracket, plus y square plus of b minus a square of this minus of 2y b minus a. This is the complete LHS we have. This is same as square this. You will have x square plus of a minus b whole square of this minus of 2x a minus b. This is the first bracket, plus of y square plus of a plus b whole square minus 2y a plus b. Right, you have this complete. Now just see whatever you have common on both LHS and RHS. What you have common is x square is common both sides. A plus b whole square, this is also common, cancel this. Y square common. B minus a whole square is same as a minus b whole square, so you can even cancel these two. So whatever you are left with, let's just write that minus 2x into a plus b minus 2y into b minus a is same equals to minus 2x a minus b minus 2y a plus b. Minus 2 is common in each term, so I'll just cancel this out. X into a plus b plus y into b minus a is equals to x into a minus b plus of y into a plus b. Right, you have this. That means xa plus xb plus yb minus ya is equals to xa minus xb plus ya plus yb. Right, xa common on both sides, cancelled. Xb not common, so it will be twice of xb in fact, right? And yb is common, just cancel it. Take ya to the other side, so this will be twice of ya. Just cancel this 2. You will have xb is equals to ya. You have this condition with you, and this looks quite similar to the options given to you. That means xb equals to ay. This is the required option, first one. Is there any confusion that how we have solved this particular question? You can see the solution once again. Is there any doubt in this question? Just let me know. Let me know if there is any doubt. What we have done is, we according to the given statement, points A and B are equidistant from x. That means xa equals to xb. That is the only condition you have. So what you can apply is only the distance formula. So based on that, you just calculated each and everything, right? Okay, let's just go to the next question. Here's the next question for you. Points 0, minus 1 and minus 2, 3, 6, 7 and 8, 3 are the vertices of, you got the question, right? We have already covered the important points, like how you will say that the given pointers are the vertices of rectangle, rhombus, parallelogram, but not a rectangle or square, right? For that, what you need to do is, you need to check the lengths of all the sides, as well as you need to check for the basically for the that diagonals. Only then you can answer. Let's just do that. Basically, we have these 4 points with us, right? So what we will do, we will quickly plot a figure, right? like I have just drawn it like a quadrilateral. Just take it to be as any random quadrilateral, because by now we just know that it is it will form a quadrilateral. 0 comma minus 1, let this point be A, B point be minus 2 comma 3, and this C point be 6 comma 7, and this D point be 8 comma 3. So what we need to do, we need to quickly calculate the length of each side. So let's just calculate. AB will be equals to 0 minus of minus 2, square of it will be 2 square, plus of minus 1 minus 3, that is minus 4, square of it will be 4 square, that is 16 plus 4 under root of it. So under root 20. I'll just write as it is. We will not simplify it much, because if all the values are under root 20, that means all sides are equal. So don't waste time in simplifying the under root values. You might get a bigger value in examination. You need not to simplify it much. BC, that will be equals to under root of minus 2 minus 6, square of it. I've written it correctly, right? 6 plus 2, like it would be minus 2 minus 6, it is minus 2 minus of 6, square of it will be, just let me write it properly. Okay, so minus 2 minus 6, that is minus 8, square of it will be minus 8 square, right? So next 3 minus 7, that is 3 minus of 7, that is 4, so you have 4 square over here. That means 64 plus 16 under root of this, that means under root of 80 you have. I have written it in the correct order. Yeah. So next is CD. This will be equals to 6 minus 8, that is 2, square of it. 7 minus 3, 7 minus 3 would be 4, 4 square you have over here, that is 4 plus 16, taking under root, you will have under root of 20, right? So you have next DA, next value DA. DA over here is 8 minus 0 square, 8 square, plus of 3 plus 1, that is 4 square, taking under root of it, under root of 80. This is what you get. So this value is under root 80, this value is under root 20, this value is under root 80. You get this. Now what you need to do next is that according to the given force, like given 4 vertices, you have calculated each side, and now you can see that opposite sides are equal. Under root 20, under root 20, under root 80, under root 80. So that means opposite sides are equal. So it means it will not be a rhombus. You are given with the options as options given to you are rhombus, rectangle, and parallelogram, but not a rectangle, as well as square. So definitely it is not a rhombus, as well as it will not be a square. You need to check whether it is rectangle or not. Only based on that you will mark option A or B, right? So let's just take. You need to calculate BD distance, that is under root of minus 2 minus 8, that means 10 square, plus of 3 minus 3, that is 0, so 0 square, that means you have just value 10. So this BD length, first diagonal length is 10. Next diagonal length AC, that is equals to under root of 0 minus 6 square, that is 6 square, plus minus 1 minus of 7, square of it would be 8 square, that means you have 36 plus 64 under root of this, that is 100. Taking under root you will get 10, that means diagonals are also equal. You have a quadrilateral in which you have checked that opposite sides are equal as well as diagonals are equal. So what exactly it would be? It will be a rectangle, right? So it will be a rectangle. Square will not be our correct answer. Rhombus will not be correct answer because all the sides are not equal. Parallelogram but not a rectangle is wrong option because diagonals are equal. That implies it will be a rectangle. So A part. Okay. Next section over here is section formula. Okay. So this is the second formula of this particular chapter. We are done with first formula, that was our distance formula. We have already tried so many questions based on that. Mostly you get such questions only in your examination based on distance formula, right? So now let's just begin with our section formula. So what exactly is section formula and where exactly it is used? Let's just see that. If you are given with 2 points A and B, first point is x1 comma y1, second point is x2 comma y2, right? And there is some point which divides the line segment joining AB in the ratio m is to n. Basically, this length AP, this complete length, taking ratio with this complete length is in the ratio m is to n. M is to n. AP is to PB is same as m is to n. This is what we have, right? So if you have this condition, in such a condition, you can calculate what would be the coordinates for this point P, right? So for finding the coordinates of point P, you can like apply this formula. What exactly this formula is, let's just see. Okay, so this formula is mx2 plus nx1 divided by m plus n, comma my2 plus ny1 divided by m plus n. How you can remember this formula? Let's just see that. You have this line segment, right? This point over here is A and this point here is P. Here you have point P for which you need to calculate the coordinates. This point is x1 comma y1. This point is x2 comma y2, right? And it is m is to n ratio. Let's just see how you can remember the formula. So for writing the formula, what you will do is, for writing the x coordinate of P, you will use x coordinates of A and B. And for writing the y coordinates, you will use y coordinates of A and B. Okay, this is the first thing you need to keep in your mind. For writing x coordinates, you just need x coordinates for A and B. For writing y coordinate, you need y coordinates of A and B, right? So x, how you will write x? For writing x, what you will do is just multiply this value with x coordinate of the other one and multiply this value with x coordinate of the other one, like opposite one, right? So n into x plus m into x2, you have multiplied these values. Now you just need to add them, and in the denominator what you need to write is sum of these values m and n. That's it, right? So in this way you have written the first coordinate, basically the x coordinate. In the similar way you can write the y coordinate. This is same as nx1 plus mx2 divided by m plus n. For writing the y coordinate, what you will do is multiply m with y2, multiply m with this y2, so m into y2 plus n into y1, like n into y1, right? Multiplying to the other side, that's it. So n into y1 divided by sum of these 2 points which are there in your ratio. That's it. Okay, easier to remember. Like first formula was distance formula, which was quite easier to remember, like difference of abscissa, square of it plus difference of ordinates, square it, take the under root of, complete. So that was the distance formula. That was quite easier to remember. Now section formula is also easier to remember. What you need to do is just draw it pictorially, just write all the points pictorially. You even need not to mention what is m, what is n, because this time it is an MCQ exam. No one is saying that what exactly your m value is, what exactly your n value is, right? So what you need to do is just write the value of m and n there, multiply the ratio of on one side to the point on the other side, and again multiply the ratio on the other side to the point on the first side, and add them, divide by the points of these ratios, m plus n. That's it, right? You can even write the formula over here for y2. So this completes your formula for section, the section formula. Okay, based on that we have a question over here. Let's just see how we can solve this question. If a is this point minus 2 comma minus 1, b is a comma 0, c is 4 comma b, and d is 1 comma 2. These are the vertices of a parallelogram. This time it is given to you that it is these are basically the vertices of a parallelogram. Now you need to find the values of a and b. How you will find the values? Is there any specific property of diagonals or sides of parallelogram? Definitely the distance of, like, basically the lengths of each side is same. You can do by that, but that will definitely require much more time to solve it. We will solve it using an easier way out, using the section formula. How we will do it? Let's just see. Let's just plot the parallelogram. So we have a parallelogram A, B, C and D. This is the parallelogram A, B, C and D. Let's just write the points: minus 2, minus 1, A, 0, 4, B, and this is 1 comma 2, right? You have all the 4 vertices of a parallelogram, and the 2 vertices are in the form of A and B, right? You need to basically calculate the value of A and B. How you will calculate it? For that you need to recall a property of a parallelogram. What property exactly it is? Let's just see this using the figure. If you draw the diagonals of a parallelogram, let me just draw this. If you draw the diagonals of the parallelogram, then the diagonals bisect each other. Bisect each other means wherever they intersect, that complete line segment will be divided into 2 equal parts. That means if this intersection point is O, let's say it is O, then OD will be equals to OB and OC will be equals to OA, right? Based on this, we will use our section formula to calculate the value of A and B. Let's just see how we will calculate. What we will do, we have a line, I'm just writing it over here again, A and C, and there's some point O in between this, and these two lengths are same. That means they are in the ratio 1:1, right? They're in the ratio 1:1. A point is minus 2 comma minus 1 and C point is 4 comma B. So using the section formula, coordinates of O are, what would it be? 1 into 4. So this will be 4 plus 1 into minus 2 divided by 1 plus 1, comma minus 1 into 1, y coordinate, will pick the y coordinate, minus 1 into 1, minus 1 plus of b into 1. So this will be b divided by 1 plus 1. That's it. So just calculate. This will be 2 by 2 comma b minus 1 by 2. This is what you have. This is same as 1 comma b minus 1 by 2. So you have coordinates of O point in the form of b, right? Let's just again calculate the coordinates of this point O using BD diagonal. Okay, again you have over here as BD. Here you have some point O in between it, and these two lengths are same. That means it is in the ratio 1:1, right? If it is in the ratio 1:1 and B point is A comma 0, D point over here is 1 comma 2, just find the coordinates of O. Coordinates of O, what would it be? It will be equals to A into 1, that is A, then 1 into 1 plus 1, right? Divided by 1 plus 1, that is 2, comma. 0 into 1, 0, 2 into 1, 2, divided by 2, same as A plus 1 divided by 2, comma 1. So using both the diagonals, what we did is we calculated the coordinates of this point of intersection. We have calculated the coordinates of this point O using both the diagonals. So these coordinates must be same so as to represent one unique point. That means 1 comma b minus 1 by 2 is same as a plus 1 by 2 comma 1. So what you will get from this is just compare the x coordinates on both sides and compare the y coordinates on both sides. You will get the value of a and b. What you will do is a plus 1 by 2 is equals to 1. This implies a plus 1 equals to 2. A is equals to 1, right? And similarly, b minus 1 by 2 is equals to 1. This implies b is equals to 3. That's your answer. That's it. Okay, what we did is we recalled our property for parallelogram. The property exactly is that the point of intersection of the diagonals is basically the point of bisection of the diagonals, right? And based on that property, we applied our section formula, which we have just learned, right? Because we know the ratio. If the point bisects a line segment, that means it divides it in the ratio 1:1. And if it, like, there might be a question like the point 2 points are given and it trisects, that means it divides in the ratio 1:1:1, right? So basically questions are based on bisection and trisection. So try such questions always before you are sitting in the examination. Based on these properties, you will easily be able to calculate the value of a and b. Okay, let's just go further. Next we have like how we can rewrite such formulas. Basically, if you are given with the ratio, directly apply the first formula we have, right? But if in such some questions you are supposed to calculate the ratio, you are like the question demands you to calculate the ratio in which a point divides the line segment, then what formula you will use or how you will write the ratio is, you will suppose that the ratio is in terms of lambda is to 1. You will say that this ratio is in terms of lambda is to 1. Some part will be of one part and other part would be lambda, like this you will say, right? What exactly it would be, how this has been molded from the earlier one, let's just see that. The earlier ratio was m:n, right? What we have done is we have divided both side by n. The ratio will not change definitely, so m/n is to 1. We have considered this as same as lambda is to 1. So by this, what exactly we have done is we have deduced our work. How we have deduced our work? Because earlier we were having two variables. Here we have two variables. And this time we are having one variable. So whenever you are supposed to calculate the ratio on your own, you will try to assume that this is our ratio rather than this, because here if you suppose that our ratio is this, even you assuming it the ratio to be m:n, you will be able to calculate the ratio, but it would be a tedious task to do. Why? Because here you have two variables. You need to calculate the value of m as well as for n. Only then you can say that this is such particular ratio which you were demanding. But here you just need to calculate the value of lambda, right? And you can say that lambda is to 1, that is the whatever it is, just say this is the required ratio. So this is the benefit of assuming that ratio is lambda is to 1 as compared to m:n, right? Definitely you will be getting same answers, but this is an easier one to proceed with. So based on lambda is to 1, how you will write the section formula is just do the same, lambda into x2 plus 1 into a divided by lambda plus 1. Similarly, write the y coordinates lambda into y2 plus 1 into y1 divided by lambda plus 1. Same section, there is no change in the section formula. Definitely there won't be any change. Formula will remain the same, but what you have done is you just changed the way you have written the ratio to deduce your work. That's it. Okay. Let's just do a question based on this. Determine the ratio in which the line 3x plus y minus 9 equals to 0 divides the line segment joining the points 1, 3 and 2, 7. So what exactly it is, the question says is, you have a line segment in which endpoints are 1, 3 and 2, 7. And there is a line 3x plus y minus 9 which is passing through it. Let's just suppose it is passing like this. So 3x plus y minus 9 equals to 0. It's some line, right? You just need to plot it pictorially just for your representation, okay? So you need to find in what ratio this line divides this particular line segment. So how you will assume the ratio is, you will assume that ratio is lambda is to 1, right? You will assume that the ratio is lambda is to 1. Now just see what basically the coordinates of this point will be. Let's just calculate the coordinates. So we have the coordinates of this point. Let me just name it as P and this point as A, this point as B. Right. So coordinates of point P will be same as 1 into this 1. So 1 into 1, 1 plus 2 into lambda divided by divided by lambda plus 1. Now just write the y coordinates. 3 into 1, 3 plus 7 into lambda. You have this divided by lambda plus 1 again. So you have this point which basically divides the line segment AB in the ratio lambda is to 1. Now you can see that this point, wherever this line intersects the line segment AB, this given line, I am writing this as L1, wherever the line L1 intersects the line segment AB, this point will be the point P will be the point of intersection. So if this point lies on this line L1, that means the coordinates of this point P must satisfy the given line equation. So what you will do is, this point will satisfy the equation, this equation L1 equation for this L1, right? So just put the points over there so as to calculate the value of lambda. 3 into 1 plus 2 lambda divided by lambda plus 1 plus of 3 plus 7 lambda over lambda plus 1 minus of 9 equals to 0, right? So this would be 3, 1 plus 2 lambda, multiply the complete equation with 1 plus lambda, okay? So you have 3 plus 7 lambda, right, minus of 9 into 1 plus lambda. This is equals to 0. So what you will have is 3 plus 6 lambda plus of 3 plus 7 lambda minus 9 minus lambda. This is same as 0. So 3 plus 3 minus 9. You will have minus of 6 with you. Next 6 lambda plus 7 lambda minus of 9 lambda. That means 4 lambda. You have this is equals to 0. 4 lambda is equals to 6. You have this implies lambda is equals to 3 by, sorry, it would be 3 by 2, right? You have this as 3 by 2. I have written this correctly. 3 plus 3 minus of 9. Okay, I have to write here 3. So this would be 3. This value will be again 3 over here. So you will have 3 by 4. You have the ratio 3 is to 3 by 4. So ratio required was lambda is to 1, that is 3 by 4 is to 1. You can write this as 3 is to 4. That's it, right? So you have the ratio as 3 is to 4. Okay, easier to calculate because we have just only one variable to be solved. If you have supposed that to be m is to n, then you need to calculate two variables, which is quite difficult task because it will increase the length of solution and definitely would require more time for you to solve in examination. So just assume it to be equal to lambda is to 1 so as to reduce the time of solving, right? Next is if you want to find the centroid of a triangle. So centroid of a triangle is basically the point of intersection of all the medians of a triangle, right? Let me just write as point of intersection of all the medians of a triangle, right? So point of intersection of medians of all the triangle is known as centroid. And if in a question you are supposed to calculate the coordinates of a centroid of a triangle, like this question you might get in your examination. Mostly the questions are based on centroid if it is from section formula, like in 2 to 3 years you get at once, right? So how you will calculate the centroid? So for that you need to remember one property is what exactly that property is. If G is the point of centroid, like G is the point which represents the centroid, then this point G, it basically divides the line segment AD in the ratio 2:1, where two parts is there at the side, on the side of vertex. Where you have vertex, it will have two parts, and here you will have one part on this which is closer to the line. Similarly, BG is to GE will be in the ratio 2:1. CG is to GF will be in the ratio 2:1. Right? Based on this, you can apply the section formula and you will get this as the points of centroid. Let's just see how. What you will do is, let's just do all the modifications over here only in the diagram. If you will calculate the point coordinates of point D, how you will write is basically AD is the median of triangle. That means BD and DC are same. That means D point will be x2 plus x3 divided by 2, and it would be y2 comma y3 y2 plus y3 divided by 2. This will be the coordinates of point D. Right, and now this is in the ratio 2:1. AD is divided by G in the ratio 2:1. So apply the section formula. You have A, which is x1 comma y1. You have D, which is x2 comma x2 plus x3 divided by 2, comma y2 plus y3 divided by 2, and here you have a point G which divides it in the ratio 2:1. So how you will write the coordinates of G? Well, let's just write it over here only. x1 into 1, x1 plus of 2 into x2 plus x3 by 2. So definitely you will get x2 plus x3 only because 2 will be cancelled, divided by 2 plus 1, that is 3. So similarly you can write the y coordinate. So basically how you can remember it directly is add all the x coordinates of the given vertices, right? So x1 plus x2 plus x3 divided by 3. Next, for y coordinate, y1 plus y2 plus y3 divided by 3. So this will represent the coordinates of centroid. Do remember it directly. Okay. Two vertices, basically you're having a question here based on the centroid formula which you have just learned. Okay, let's just see how many of you have learned it quickly, right? So let's just apply the formula on this particular question. Two vertices of a triangle are given as 3 comma minus 5 and minus 7 comma 4. There are two vertices given to you. Let's say that the two vertices which are given to you are A and B. Let's just name it over here in the figure 3 comma minus 5, and here it is minus 7 comma 4. If the centroid is 2 comma minus 1, find the third vertex. You might get a question like all the 3 vertices are given, then calculate the coordinates of centroid. This time you are getting the reverse question. You are given with the 2 vertices and you are given with the coordinates of centroid. You need to calculate the coordinates of the third vertex. So let's the coordinate of third vertex be x comma y, and this point G over here is 2 comma minus 1. This is given to us. We all know that how to calculate the coordinates of centroid using the 3 coordinates of vertices. Let's just write using that. We have 3 vertices as 3 comma minus 5, minus 7 comma 4, x comma y. So using these 3, how we can write coordinates of centroid? So centroid will be, add x coordinates of each, 3 minus 7 plus x divided by 3, comma minus 5 plus 4 plus y divided by 3, right? So this is same as minus of 4 plus x divided by 3, comma minus 1 plus y by 3, right? So this will be equals to the given coordinates, that is 2 comma minus 1. You have calculated the coordinates of centroid using the 3 vertices, and these 2 coordinates are basically given to you as 2 comma minus 1. So just compare both, you will get the value of x and y, and write it into the ordered pair. That will be the coordinates of the third vertex. So let's just calculate. Minus 4 plus x divided by 3 is 2, and minus 1 plus y divided by 3 is minus 1. So minus 1 plus y is minus 3, y is equals to minus of 2. Here x minus 4 is equals to 6, x is equals to 10. So 10 comma minus 2, 10 comma minus 2 is basically the required coordinates of the third vertex. Easier to calculate if you remember the formula for centroid, right? This won't be much easier if you haven't remembered the formula of centroid, right? Formula to calculate the coordinates of centroid basically. Otherwise, if you can't remember the formula, it is easier formula. I know you can remember, but if in case you might not be able to recall this formula in your examination, you can derive it yourself on the basis of the concept we have used to calculate this. If you remember the section formula, that much is sufficient to derive the formula for centroid in examination, right? Next, third topic over here we have in this particular chapter as area of triangle. You already know that we calculate the area of triangle as half into base into height. But what if we just know the 3 coordinates which are basically the vertices of the triangle? You are given with 3 vertices of a triangle, then you are asked to calculate the area of triangle. In such cases, you will need one more formula, a general formula over here in coordinate geometry. Half into base into height will work here, but for that you need to again and apply distances formula, right? So let's just see what exactly the formula is. If we have 3 points which are vertices of the triangle as x1 comma y1, x2 comma y2 and x3 comma y3. These are the 3 vertices of a triangle. Basically the triangle here is drawn as A, B and C. I'll just give you the view like how you can derive this formula, and more stress will be given on how to remember this formula, right? You just have 3 formulas in this complete chapter, so you must remember all the 3 formulas. I have already given you the way how you can remember the first 2 formulas, and in the similar fashion you can remember this third formula very easily. Let's just see how we can. If you want to calculate the area of triangle with these 3 points as its vertices, then this basically this complete formula represents the, after calculating this value you will get the area of triangle. And how you can remember this, let's just see. You have half into x1 into y2 minus y3 plus x2 into y3 minus y1 plus x3 into y1 minus y2. Right, let's just see how you will remember is, you have coordinates as x1 y1, x2 y2, x3 y3. These are the three coordinates. So what you will do is, you will write first as half. You need to remember some things, right? But you must remember the pattern how we are writing it. First write half, then write x1 plus x2 plus x3 at some distances, right? x1 plus x2 plus x3. Now what next you will do is, just form a circle over here, right? And write y1, write y2, write y3 over here, and mark it with some direction. This is the direction I'm going with. Okay, so I have marked the direction in which direction I am moving, that is anti-clockwise sense. I have also written this in anti-clockwise sense, and I have also marked this in anti-clockwise sense. How this will be beneficial to write your formula is, you have written x1 plus x2 plus x3, right? Now if you have x1 over here, just forget this y1. Forget about y1. You need to check for y2 and y3, and you will write this in as difference. But as difference, how you will be writing is, you can even write y2 minus y3 or y3 minus y2, but you need to go in the direction of arrows. Arrow is from y2 to y3. You will reach y2 first and then you will come to y3. That means you will write y2 first, then you will write y3. Similarly, let's just write the other one. Here you have x2, then just forget about y2. Now from this side, move to the next two pointers, that is y3 and y1. You need to write the difference of y3 and y1, but how will you write? In the direction of arrows. y3 minus y1 is the correct direction, right? Next, for x3, write it yourself, try to write it yourself, forget about y3. Now you are left with y1 and y2. So write in the direction of arrows. That means you need to write y1 minus y2. So in this way, if you practice it writing 2 to 3 times as by forming this loop, you will easily be able to write this formula in examination. Try writing by this loop. You will definitely having no issues while writing it in examination. Even there will be no confusion like why you need to write y2 minus y3 or y3 minus y2 like this. So if you form a loop over here and go by this way, you will definitely have all the correct signs with you, right? And how this formula is derived, there are some students who are curious to know that how this formula is derived. For those, I'm just telling, for calculating the area, what you will do is, you will calculate the area of, like, let me highlight over here. What you will do is, you will calculate the area of this complete trapezium. How you will calculate the area of this complete trapezium is, basically area of trapezium is, for that you need AD length, you have y1. For that you need BE length, that you also know. You need the perpendicular, that is ED, that you even know as it is x1 minus of x2. In the similar way, you can find the area of this second trapezium. This is the second trapezium we have, right? You can find the area of this second trapezium over here. And if you are able to calculate the area of both the trapezium, now what you need to do is, you need to find the area of some other trapezium. What exactly it is? This one. This. Just calculate the area of this. And what you need to do is, you were having earlier the complete one, area of that complete trapezium, like two trapeziums. What you will do is subtract the area of that the smaller trapezium you have, right? So what you will do to calculate the area is, you will first calculate the area of these two trapezium which I marked earlier as with the yellow highlighter. Then you will add both the areas. After that, just calculate the area of this trapezium which I marked just now, right? And then subtract this much area. You will get the area of the triangle, right? Next is a question based on the area of triangle. Let's just solve. We have area of triangle whose vertices are these. In terms of T, you have all the three vertices in terms of T. So you need to check it has the area independent of T, dependent on T, can't be computed using the given information, or none of these. Check it yourself. Can B be the option? Without going further, you can even just cancel out some options. What exactly it would be? Can't be computed. Is this the correct? Is this might be the correct option or not? No, because you have a formula using which you can calculate the area of a triangle using the three vertices, coordinates of the three vertices, right? Based on that, let's just calculate the area. Let's just calculate on the other page. We have a triangle A, B, C. Here this is T comma T minus 2, this is T plus 2 comma T plus 2, this is T plus 3 comma T, and even form the loop y1, y2, y3. Why we have formed a loop? Because we know after writing all the values in the loop, we will be able to see how we are gonna write our formula, right? So that is y1 is T minus 2. I am assuming this to be x1 y1, assuming this to be x2 y2, assuming this to be x3 y3. You can assume it on your own. You can name this 1, this 2 as this 3. It is up to you. But once named, you can't change. Okay. So let's just write, this is x. This is T minus 2. Next here, this is T plus 2. Here y3 over here is T only. Now let's just calculate the area. Area would be, you will write half first. Then what you write? x1 is T only. Then you need to write x2 is T plus 2. Next x3 is T plus 3, right? Then close the brackets. Now here you need to write, you have here as x1, so that means you need to forget about y1 and you need to write on the basis of y2 and y3. So what you will do is, you will write on the basis of arrows, that is y2 minus y3, that is T plus 2 minus T, that is y2 minus y3. Next here you have x2, so just cancel this, just remove this x2, y2 from your mind, and what you have is y3 and y1. So move in the direction of arrows. So you have y3 to y1. So y3 first, that is T minus of T plus 2. Next, here you have x3. On the basis of x3, you need to forget about y3. Just think of y1 and y2. So it will be in the direction of arrows. It will be y1 minus y2. That is T minus 2 minus of T minus 2. Basically, y1 minus y2 I have written over here. Now let's just quickly calculate. This is half T into, T will be cancelled. You have 2 only. Plus, here you have T plus 2 into, you will here again have only 2 value, T will be cancelled. Here you have T plus 3 into, again one T are cancelled, and you have minus 4. Here you have half 2T plus 4 plus of minus 4T minus of 12. That's what you have. You have 2T plus 2T minus 4T. Cancel each. 2T plus 2T is 4T minus 4T will be 0. So you have 4 minus 12, that is minus 8 divided by 2. You might be wondering that you have area as negative value, right? So if so ever you get your area as negative value, just take the absolute value of it, right? Just take the absolute value, you will get 4 units square as your answer. So based on the options, what will be your correct answer? In the options, you were having independent of t, dependent on t, or can't be computed was already rejected by us, right? So, and next one was none of these. So definitely the value we got is 4 units square, which is independent of t, right? Next here are some important points you need to remember while you are dealing with the questions of area of a triangle, right? What are these pointers? If in question they say that there are some points D, E and F which are the midpoints of sides BC, CA and AB of triangle ABC. You have a triangle, let me just plot it over here, A, B and C. Right, so if D is the midpoint of BC and E is the midpoint of CA, E is here and F is here as the midpoint. These are the midpoints. 3, like, okay. So if you draw a triangle joining these 3 points which you have just marked D, E and F, right, then there is a relation between the area of triangle DEF, this much area, and there is a relation with the area of DEF and this complete triangle's area. Basically, relation between area of triangle DEF and area of triangle ABC. What this relation is? Area of triangle DEF is 1/4 of area of triangle ABC. In fact, what is the like most important thing you need to remember is, if you are curious to know, area of this portion which I have marked as yellow, and next area of this portion, and area of this portion which I have just marked, and area which I have already first marked as light blue. All these areas are equal. All these areas are equal. That means if you just need to calculate area of one of the triangles, like either you need for this red portion, or you need for this yellow portion, or you need for this dark blue portion, or you need for this light blue portion, all areas are same and all are 1/4 of area of triangle ABC. You can use this result directly if you in examination you are supposed to calculate area of any of the triangles, right? Next, if 3 points in coordinate plane are collinear, then there is this result. Now, how you can remember this result and what exactly is this result? Let's just see. You have x1 into y2 minus y3 plus x2 into y3 minus y1 plus x3 into y1 minus y2 equals to 0. Is this some familiar result? Is there some familiar result for you? We have just studied a formula which was having this. That was the area, that was the formula to calculate the area of triangle with given 3 vertices, right? So how that formula was helpful in this particular pointer is, if you have 3 points which are collinear, definitely if the points are collinear, they can't form a triangle. There is no triangle formed. And if you suppose, in just mind, just suppose that if they are forming a triangle, that triangle will have its area as 0. So just go with that intuition, right? Basically, if you have this point over here, this point, like if you have, I'll just plot it. Here you have 2 pointers, right? You have a point over here, that means it will form a triangle. Bring this point closer and closer, area will decrease. And once the point is over this line segment, area will become 0. That is the point you have over here for collinearity condition. So for that, what you did is area, what you have the formula for area, just equate it to 0, you will get this formula, right? So you can use this formula directly wherever you want to prove that 3 points are collinear. One way to prove was using the distance formula. Distance between the 2 points is same as the distance between 2 points is same as the sum of the distance between the other 2 points we have, right? That was the result using the distance formula, right? In that, what you have done was, you have 3 points A, B and C. Distance between distance between A and B, distance between B and C. You add them to find that the distance between A and C is same as distance between AB plus distance between BC. This was the first way. Using the distance formula, you were proving the collinearity. But if you need not to find, like you can't find the distances thrice, what you can do is just use the formula for area, and if the area is coming out to be 0, that means the points are collinear. Okay, so next, here is a homework question for you. Question is the ratio in which the line segment joining P and Q is divided by x-axis is. You need to find the ratio in which the line joining these 2 points, there are 2 points, it will form some line segment. So it might pass through the x-axis, like x-axis might pass through this line segment, but in what ratio it divides the given line segment joining PQ, you need to calculate that ratio. We have done a similar question in this session, so I think you can easily solve this question, right? So just do solve this question and let me know in the comment section what answer you get, right? And I'll be discussing. If you are not able to do it, just let me know. I'll solve this in the next class. Okay, in that class we will also have a quiz round for this particular chapter. Most of the questions are already done related to this chapter, but more questions we will do practice in our quiz round. So do prepare yourself for that round, right? Thank you for your interaction and your concentration over here in this session. And if you haven't downloaded the Practically application, I'll suggest you to do download the Practically application and see what benefits you might get over here at this particular platform, right? Here we provide 3D model videos so that you have a better conceptual clarity. I definitely I can say that you will like all those videos, and definitely your knowledge will be enhanced. Most of the students over here have a better understanding of the concepts because of those videos that are all that we have already created, which are there on our platform in our application, right? For that you need to download our application and you can get enrolled with us for that. Okay, thank you. We'll see you up in the next session. Bye bye. Take care.